joining us for our April edition of ExtraHop TLDR, Tired Lions Don't Roar. I'm pretty sure that is a reference to the whole March comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb thing, but I'm not entirely certain. Anyway, you actually know what it is. It's Too Long Didn't Read, a quick refresh of what you may have missed in cybersecurity. I'm Rachel Pepple.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Diddy.
And I'm Justin Carter, and each month we're going to recap some interesting stories from ExtraHop and other cybersecurity industry leaders so that you don't have to. Everything we talk about today will be available on our blog, and we'll include a link at the end of the broadcast. Rachel, do you want to kick us off with some headlines?
Let's go. We'll start with an update on Shields Up. As you already know, ExtraHop released two companion pieces, my goodness, I cannot talk today, to CISO's guidance, one for security organizations and one for corporate leaders that provide practical recommendations for how to implement and mature your security posture.
But we didn't stop there. We now have a complimentary assessment available to qualified organizations, which will help identify at-risk devices and connections, insecure protocols, and deprecated encryption, and comes with a threat briefing of nation-states cyber threat tactics.
On top of that, we have Shields Up solution briefs for major industries, from manufacturing and financial services to the public sector. And if you don't live in North America, that's okay. We also have guidance from government agencies in Europe, Asia, and Australia.
All of these resources are available on our Shields Up hub page, and you can find that on our website, extrahop.com/resources/shields-up.
All right, moving on. Now we're deep into April, which means spring has sprung. And that can only mean one thing: spring for shell. That's right, we recently had another major exploit hit the world.
On March 29th, we learned that a critical zero-day vulnerability known as Spring for Shell was discovered in Java Spring Core. This is a widely used open-source development kit found in many Java applications, including Apache Tomcat, which, according to ExtraHop research, is present in more than 70% of enterprise environments.
Spring for Shell can be accessed over HTTPS, which gives attackers the ability to hide activity behind encryption, similar to Log4Shell.
They also hide actively, in fairness. That's kind of what they do.
That's incredibly accurate.
For RevealX customers, a detector and a threat briefing are available to help their teams identify risk and detect any exploit attempts associated with the zero-day.
ExtraHop is continually monitoring the situation and will provide updates when they become available. For now, you can read more about Spring for Shell on our blog. You can also check out the video from our friend and ExtraHop colleague, Josh Snow, available on our YouTube channel. Josh is awesome. Props to Josh.
It's great stuff that he does for us. Thank you, Josh. Okay, now let's get our heads in the cloud. ExtraHop RevealX 360 now provides flexible deployment options for threat detections in AWS.
That's right. Your security team can now analyze VPC flow logs for broad coverage and packets for forensic investigation. ExtraHop analyzes all layers of network telemetry with advanced AI to create accurate detections of post-compromise behaviors and high-fidelity alerts with context. And VPC flow logs is a source that almost every cloud team already uses. This is just applying real-time analytics to that important data source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really excited about this. And we have a really cool site that breaks down all these incredible features. So head on over to our solutions page and take a look for yourself. Now it's time for Threat of the Month. And this time around, we're talking about cross-site scripting.
Cross-site scripting is an application layer or code injection attack that exploits communications between a user and an application to gain access to sensitive data or to take control of the application.
Attackers can hide inside legitimate websites, which provides a gateway for them to carry out phishing, key logging, and cookie theft. And we're not talking about the Cookie Monster kind of cookie theft. Then, since cookies often include saved user information, the attacker can use it to impersonate real people.
Yeah, talk about a bad cookie. The term was introduced by Microsoft engineers in 2000 and remains an extremely popular common type of attack today.
But while it is common, it is also preventable. The best ways to mitigate cross-site scripting attacks include sanitizing your cookies, validating user input data, and using a content security policy that only accepts data from certain domains.
I would never eat a sanitized cookie. Gross. I mean, sanitized cookie, it sounds like something bereft of all fat and sugar, which I think are critical ingredients along with chocolate in any cookie.
Agreed.
Anyway.
That's the whole point.
I'm going to get off my soapbox now. You can also enhance detections with decryption. Since these attacks are often performed over port 443 with encryption protocols like HTTPS and TLS, it's critical that security tools have decryption capabilities for all common encryption protocols, including TLS 1.3.
That's right. So be a good cookie and prevent cross-site scripting by reading our blog or by heading over to our attack glossary.
Now let's move on to cyber news around the internet. First up, ExtraHop's Michael McPherson joins the Business Security Weekly podcast to discuss the issues facing the cybersecurity industry.
That's right. They talk about how you can't just throw expensive tools at a problem to fix it, and instead focus on the tactical questions security leaders can ask themselves and their teams to help build a better defensive approach. So head over to the Security Weekly website and check out their conversation.
And finally, we keep talking about Shields Up and CISA because the federal government continues to expand its guidance. And now it's also expanding its budget.
According to President Biden's 2023 IT federal civilian budget proposal, I'm sure there's an acronym coming, he's looking to increase funding with $11 billion in new funds for cybersecurity and an additional $500 million going to CISA.
Since last year's executive order, this administration continues to commit to address root cause issues and modernize federal cybersecurity. And ExtraHop is here to support that. You can go get your assessment today. And by the way, guys, I just have to say it because it happened a few hours ago, and I know that I'm throwing a curveball here, so bear with me. But the acquisition or the takeover of Twitter by Elon Musk actually has some really interesting implications. And I know everyone's out there talking about what it means for free speech, but there are actually two things that I think have really interesting cyber implications. The first one is that he wants to make the platform's code open source. His stated purpose for that is to create increased transparency in terms of how tweets are surfaced in people's timelines. And that's awesome. I admire him for that. But also, if you think about Spring4Shell and Log4Shell and some of the critical vulnerabilities that have recently been uncovered in other open source platforms, when you have an open source software vulnerability, the blast radius of something like that is huge, and I think may actually make Twitter more of a target for that kind of attack.
Yeah, this isn't just a little pebble being thrown in the puddle of social media right now. This is a massive boulder. So we're going to be watching this pretty closely to see how everything transpires. I think the other thing we kind of talked about was him eliminating bots. And if that's even possible, right? I mean, it's
a bit of a Sisyphean task, right?
That's be an incredible feat if you're able to eliminate bots, and I for one would be all for that. But if he does it right, Justin, if he and his team are actually able to train their AI to be much better at detecting and eliminating bot traffic, the implications of that actually go far beyond social media, right? It's also things like phishing emails. It's anything where there's something malicious coming in. If we can do a better job of detecting those things, that actually has a really positive implication for cybersecurity in general. Agreed. Yeah, it would be incredible. It would be absolutely incredible if you could do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Elon Musk, let's see what you got.
Eliminate the bots.
Sisyphus, I'm telling you. I don't know if it's possible, but anyway.
Well, that's going to do it for this month's TLDR. I'm Paul Diddy.
I'm Justin Carter.
And I'm Rachel Peppel. And you can find all the stories we've discussed today, minus maybe the Elon Musk bit, on our blog by heading to the link below, extrahop.com/TLDR.
We'll be back next month for more stories and all things cybersecurity.
Thanks for joining us, and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.